again. This time we're talking about Basso. Cool Racing have been a Basso Premier dealer for over 12 months now. It's one of probably our favourite brands in the shop. We've sold a lot of road bikes, but what I've got here now is Adam Biggs, the UK brand manager. We're just going to find out a bit more about the heritage and what you as a customer should be buying Basso. So Adam, let's just talk about the heritage of Basso. Where did they come from, and what do they do?
Yeah, Basso was established in the early 1980s, inspired by the victory of Marino Basso. He won the World Championships, and as a result his brother was already manufacturing frames at the time, named Alcide Basso. And obviously with his brother winning the World Championships in GAP, it developed obviously a perfect marketing opportunity. So his brother used that and decided to name his frames the Basso Gap, and that was the first steel frame that they developed. He was literally building them and selling them from his garage. And then as a result of the success, or massive success he had from that, it led to him developing his new factory in Vicenza, which he's had ever since. And right to this day, the biggest selling point of all Bassos is that they're one of the only existing manufacturers left over now that are still handcrafting everything in Italy right from scratch.
Cool, excellent. This is my bike. This is me, the owner's privilege. Basso Astra, probably the most beautiful and most comfortable bike I've ever owned. Now the carving that goes into something like that, tell us more about that.
Yeah, the carving that we use on the Astra frame is what's known as a Torre 703K frame. And interestingly, all of the carbon that Basso buy is actually bought in sheet format, and most of the carbon fibre is actually purchased from the UK, funnily enough, by a number of different car manufacturers, and then they're obviously placed in the mould over in Italy and developed into this work of art really. And a number of other selling points for this model in particular is if you were to cut this tube straight in half, it's got what's called a 4-leaf clover-shaped tubing, which basically, to make a long story short, it means that laterally the frame is a lot stiffer and a lot more responsive than most, but it still has a lot of vertical flex, and therefore, say a lot of vertical flex, enough to make the bike comfortable. So as a result, if you look at any reviews that we've ever had on the Astra, we've never had less than 9 out of 10, and that's because of the fact that the bike's not only a performance bike, but it's also a comfortable bike aimed at sportive riders as well as pure racing cyclists.
Cool. And obviously there's a model above this called the Diamante, and you've raced the season on the Diamante. Where is your sort of heart I know that you've owned an Astra and you've owned a Diamante. How do the two compare?
My honest answer is probably for all-round performance. Although the Astra is cheaper, I would say that the Astra is probably the best value for money bike we have in the whole range. The Diamante is very competitively priced because it's obviously stiff, responsive, it's a pure race machine, whereas the Astra sort of ticks all of the boxes that a general cyclist would want.
Well, you can tell we're a working bike shop because the phone's going off in the background, but I'll continue anyway. Right, in terms of future plans for Basso, the Astra, the Diamante and the rest of the range, hasn't changed really for 2011. Are there any future plans beyond this?
The main thing at this stage is to just continue developing the models that we've already got. So obviously the best selling model is the Astra, perhaps more importantly for development and marketing, the Diamante. The Astra is already our best selling model, and the Diamante has huge potential, and it's a model that we think we can push even further. So yeah, that's certainly the immediate plans for the future. In terms of long-term plans, we haven't really planned anything in particular, because obviously with the bike still being handcrafted in Italy, you're always going to hit the ceiling. You can never go over that, otherwise you're obviously forced to mass produce them same as everybody else.
There's no plans to talk that or change that?
Certainly no plans at present, no. The biggest selling point of Basso is its heritage and the fact that they're all made in Italy. With us not having a Pro Tour team in the professional peloton, our biggest selling point is that they're all real Italian handcrafted frames, and they're a bit niche and exotic, which is exactly what a Basso buyer is looking for.
Excellent. So there you go, people. Basso, probably the most beautiful Italian bike that you can buy. I say we're a Premier dealer, we custom build, we can supply you any bike of any spec that you want, at a very, very competitive price point. We do the full range. We've got my bike, obviously the Basso Astra, but we've got the Reef, the Devil, the Guna and the Diamante in stock as well. So come and see it in the flesh, people. It's a great bike and a great brand.